Hello, 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 everybody. It is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. If I look a little out of sorts, I'm sorry. Hey, sis, how are you? I'm breathing. I'm breathing. Um, so I got a lot going on around me. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. I got my yarn all tangled up in itself. Okay, sorry about that. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I am going to keep keeping an eye on the TV as well as going over ta-da the list. So first of all, welcome to Come On in the Room. I am so glad to see you all today. Um, they will probably be a little quieter than normal. Just bear with me, please. Um, I'm going to jump about the list. I'm going to put it out there early. My weight is right at 326 even, um, which is not bad. I wanted it to come down a little more, but at least it came down from day before yesterday. So I'm good with that. I also posted it that way. It's out there for you to see it. I can't dispute it. I can't be like, no, 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 no. I was actually 320 on that day. No, can't do that. But it's there. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to be able to check. I know, sis. I know. But, mm, mm. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of my subscribers. I would like to thank everyone who's here today. Please don't forget to leave your thummies. I'm pushing y'all. I'm trying to reach my mark. I'm trying to get where my big sister Michelle is. Yes. She's younger than I am, but I still call her big sister because I think she's an inch taller too. So yes, she can be big sister. But I'd also encourage you to please, when you go back and look at the replays and you see my other videos, please leave comments. I actually dropped a short yesterday because I was feeling some sort of way about all these Gen Xers. I am skipping about the list because I'm going down memory lane for a minute. So I'm sure we see all the shorts, the reels. Exactly. I'm 5'3". So you're a big sister. So I'm sure we see all of these reels and everything about the Gen Xers and them having to go outside and stay outside and drink it from the water hose. But us baby boomers, I know you Gen Xers had to do that. I understand that. But us baby boomers, where y'all think y'all got it from? See, we went from the water pump to the water hose. Okay, we had to go out to the coal shed and get coal and wood and bring it in the house. That's the only time we could come in the house. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, we had to go outside and play. We had the plastic bags on our feet before we put on our socks and shoes and boots, the galoshes. Before we went outside to play in the rain, the mud, and the snow. We had mittens, plastic gloves on our hands before we put the mittens on while we were out there building snowmen. We had real snowball fights. And the only time we were scared is when the neighborhood derelicts would come through and put rocks in the snowballs. But we had to get up and keep playing anyway. If there was no blood drawn, you just had to stay out there and keep playing. Okay, I came up in the time where our way of raking our neighbors' yards when they had leaves is we played with them. We threw leaves back and forth to each other. Okay, and somehow the leaves would come together in the middle. And then we'd all get them together and put them in the leaf bags, the garbage bags. Well, I'm sorry. No, not the leaf bags. We had burlap bags. We had the heavy duty plastic bags that our coal was delivered in. Those are the types of things that we had. I remember the swings where they had the Gen Xers had the hard rubber. Oh, we were so happy that they graduated to that hard, thick rubber that would squeeze you up when you sat in it, make your legs cross when you couldn't even cross your legs on your own. Because all we had was a plank of wood. Sometimes two, if they were nice enough to glue them together. But we had that wide plank of wood that if you slid from one side to the other, you were sure to get a splinter. And you better pull it out yourself, because all they're gonna do for you in the house is lay a piece of steak on it, put some salt on it, lay a piece of steak or fat back on it, and let that piece of wood work its way to the top. Unless you wanted surgery, where they burnt the tip of the needle and they went picking. But they mostly did that on your hands. And you remember the red stuff, the cure-all, the red Band-Aid, which we used to call Mercurocone? All of that. You know, I don't hear the Gen Xers talking about that stuff. And the 666 ointment that we had to take, and the castor oil by itself that we had to take. I never could take it because I don't care what they put mine in, only the castor oil decided it did not want to stay in my body. Whew. And Creamotion for children will help you the young grow, or whatever it was. Yeah, see? Hey Sam, how are you? We're taking a trip down memory lane. I'm not. I'm not. It's just that a lot of the Gen Xers, and right now, Michelle, I'm speaking of those on the tail end of the Gen Xers. When they are posting like this only happened during their time. I remember when it used to be so hot outside, we had to go sit on the y'all in our front yard back home in Wilson, North Carolina. Our tree, I used to call it my throne because it was staircases. And I would sit on the top. And when my friends came over, they had to sit at the bottom. I was home. Yes, I'm going to sit on my throne. When it got too hot outside and we weren't going to keep opening the doors and stuff to go in, and we didn't know about air conditioners yet. There was no such thing as an air conditioner. All we had was the fan. We had the circle fan that sat in the floor. It didn't spin, just blade spun. It was this big metal stand that looked like a footstool. Yeah, that's how far back I go. But we had to sit on the root of that tree and just be still and quiet if we wanted to calm down. Ice cream truck. We didn't have ice cream trucks. You walk to the corner store. If you wanted ice cream, and if you got ice cream, you better finish it before you get back home, or you're gonna have a mess. Yeah, we I didn't know what an ice cream truck was until I was in probably middle school. I had no idea what an ice cream truck was. I remember the drugstore on the corner of Goldsboro and Nash Street, still in Wilson. They had an ice cream shop in the back. If you all are familiar with the High's ice cream shop, that's what this drugstore would remind you of. But you went all the way to the back, and they had the big tubs of ice cream, and you got to pick your flavors. Couldn't get more than a triple scoop. You can get a single, a double, and a triple. And they all came on the old fashioned. I still call them waffle cones, but it was the little pointed ones. Yeah, yeah, y'all. Those were the days. But the Gen Xers didn't experience it first. Us baby boomers, and I'm not saying that we were the first to do it, but the way was made for all of that. And I like to take those trips down memory lane. Now I'm here to take y'all on a personal trip down memory lane. And Lori, I'm not stealing your shine because we know that Lori got stories. But my grandson caught me today and kind of helped put me back in a good mood because y'all, We're not even going to talk about that right now. But we used to fish a lot. Well, see, we had a Baskin Robbins too. We had Highs and we had Baskin Robbins. So here it was two different places. So we used to fish a lot. My grandmother, my mother, my aunt, my cousin, myself. I don't ever remember my grandfather going fishing. My grandfather was too busy chasing women. Just being honest. So we one of our favorite spots was Mesquite, North Carolina. It's down close to the water. You know anything about Carolina? It's around the region of Swans Quarters, Bellhaven, Kitty Hawk. Um, it's like the Outer Banks area. So we went down to Mesquite to go to one of our around the Mesquite Hotel. It's a story behind that too. They built a hotel on top of a hotel, and if I'm not mistaken, they built a third one because the hotels kept sinking. Literally, literally, the hotels would be underwater, so they built another hotel. Eventually, that one they wouldn't demolish it; the water would just rise. So we're on our way, my mom and I, back to Portsmouth, Virginia, and my grandmother is on her way back to Wilson, still in North Carolina. And we had a Toyota Corona Mark IV station wagon, my mom's first new car that she owned, and it was red, her color. Loved it. We get in Crestwell, North Carolina, and the car breaks down. It's just me and my mom, 8 o'clock at night on the road, trying to get back to Portsmouth, Virginia. And we break down. We in the woods, y'all. We in the woods. It's a 2-lane highway, and we're in the woods. And we don't know what we're going to do. A couple of cars passed by. One car had a few guys in it. They hopped out to see if they could help. My mom felt uneasy about them. She was like, "Oh, no, we got it. Thank you very much." Then another car comes by. Looked like an old-fashioned Ford Model T. It was old. I mean, like old. Anyway, this couple gets out. I don't remember the guy's name. I don't think I ever caught the guy's name. But the lady's name was Miss Ruth. I can't remember her last name. I'm old, y'all. And Miss Ruth said, "Well, we can't fix it, but we have a friend who owns an auto shop. You know, we can talk to him in the morning. We can let him know tonight that the car is here. And he can get the car to his shop in the morning and see what's wrong with it." Okay, no problem. So what are we going to do? And Miss Ruth kept saying, "Well, you can stay at my house. It ain't nothing but a little shanty, but you can stay at my house." Some about the fact that she kept saying it ain't nothing but a little shanty made my mom dubious. And my mom was like, "Well, do you have a hotel or something?" And they were like, "Sure." Okay. Took us to the little motel. Mom and I get a room. By this time, all our little extra money is spent. We got just like nab money left. And that was good because right across the street from the hotel was a little snacking area where you could get your little nabs and get your drinks. So we got a pack of nabs and a Pepsi to share between the two of us. Mind you, we haven't eaten since that morning, since before we left Portsmouth to go to Mesquite. So supposed to be an eclipse that night. We find a box. We go outside. You know how you used to put the paper in the back of the box and you would cut the hole, the little pinhole, and you stick your face in the hole and you could see the eclipse? Okay, well, that's what we did. And then we go back to the room and we're getting ready to bed it down. So I remember I had on a red t-shirt and some jeans. I took my red t-shirt off. My mama turned it on the inside out because what she would do was wash clothes by hand when we were in situations, if we got in situations like that. So she's getting ready to wash my shirt and she looks and she sees something on my shirt and it's a tick. My mom stripped me at that point, and she's checking my body. She's looking at me, and I'm like, "What are we doing? What is going on?" So she checks her clothes for the same thing. She washes all of our clothes by hand. Mind you, our pants are still wet the next morning, but it was we knew they were clean. So the next morning, there were no more ticks. It was just that one. Next morning, we get up. Miss Ruth and her friend come back. I was uneasy about that friend myself because when we got to the auto shop, the friend had already come and picked up the car and took it back to the auto shop. And this guy that was with Miss Ruth kept flicking this knife and looking at me real funny. So I stayed inside. I let him stay outside and flick his knife and do whatever. I never would go close to him. My mom made the appropriate phone call to her parents, my grandparents, let them know the situation. Granddaddy had some connections. He had connections everywhere. But Granddaddy had some connections, told the guy to go ahead and fix the car, and he was going to bring the money down. Okay, so, well, we have to get back to Portsmouth still. So our grandparents threw us in the back of their car, and we head back to Portsmouth. We stop in Suffolk at one of my favorite restaurants, Bunny's Restaurant. Love it. Mind you, we haven't eaten for like a day and a half now, except this little pack of nabs that we shared and this Pepsi that we shared. And my mom ordered a steak, and I believe she ordered shrimp as well, if I'm not mistaken. Forgot what my grandparents ordered, but I ordered a half a chicken. And my granddaddy didn't think I was going to eat it all. And he did the little dare thing. Well, why don't you just go ahead on and get a whole chicken? I mean, if you go eat okay, let's do this. So I ordered a whole chicken. I had my mashed potatoes, I had my collard greens, I had my rolls, and I had my sweet tea. And I ate all but half the chicken. They wanted to sit inside and talk. I knew it because my grandparents paid for the car to get fixed, and my mom never wanted to be owing to them. So anyway, I go out to the car because I don't want my granddaddy to call me greedy. I mean, I feel like he already called me out a little bit, you know. Y'all, I went out to the car. My mom gave me the rest of her steak to go with it. When my granddaddy came out there, he was like, "All right, baby. Um, you can finish the rest of that food when you get home." And I passed him a plastic bag that had the fat that was left from the steak and the bones from the chicken. Y'all, I ate that whole chicken, all 8 pieces. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was either 10 or 11. I don't remember which one, but I was somewhere around there. But y'all, like I said, going down memory lane, sometimes it helps to bring me back to where I am. But the little short that I posted, I did drop the link if you want to check it out in the description box below. Okay. Now, you all know that I've shown you this and the struggles that I had with it. It was supposed to be started Sunday, but I actually started Monday. And this is where I am. I have given myself the task of 3 different, the colors a day. So that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this should be Thursday. So according to that, I'm ahead. But the fact that it's not finished makes me feel like I'm behind. But it is so far 16 inches wide, or 16 inches long, I should say. I have no idea how wide it is. I've not measured it at all. But I have a queen size bed, and it does go from one side to the other with minimal amount of overhang. So it's pretty wide. I'm thinking that I'm going to present it, or hopefully she'll use it this way instead of this way. Because I'm about to be tired of this man. And it's not, the pattern, y'all, is so simple. It is so, so, so simple. Um, the advice I would give, and I'll probably try to do a little short video to make it easier for somebody else, because I know I'm not the only person who had trouble with it. The turn, when you get ready to add your trebles, it it was confusing. It was confusing to me. I'm not saying it'll be confusing to anybody else. Somebody else will pick it up, and probably somebody who's only been crocheting like a week will pick it up and be like, okay, and go right through it. But me and my old slow mind, my little foggy mind sometimes, ooh, it was not working. It was not working. And I was getting more and more frustrated. I really was. I was getting frustrated that the process was not working the way I thought it should work. And then I went back, I cleared my mind, I took everything loose, all except the foundation row, because I had already done the foundation row so many times. And I decided I'm going to go through it. I'm going to make this work. We're going to try it this way and see if it works for me. Sally, how are you? Welcome in. And when I went back with that mentality, I did it exactly the way she wrote it in the pattern. So Christine, I don't remember her last name. Well, I can't say her last name. It's like Grios. I think it's Mauricio. I don't know. And I don't want to mess up her name. So I know her first name was Christine. And the pattern itself is beautiful. It is really beautiful. I'm so loving this. And I as much as I am over pink, I'm sorry, Michelle. But as much as I am over pink, I'm loving how it's turning out. It gives you something beautiful on the back as well as the texture on the front. So you can either go smooth or textured. You know, if you want the texture close to you and cuddle up in it, that's cool. But if you want smooth close to you, Sally, I'm okay. We're gonna talk about me and colors. I have only had two colors in my life that I considered favorite colors. I started out a very, very girly pink girly. I did. And I think what destroyed that for me is when I finally came to Virginia to live with my mother. I was 4. So to celebrate me being there a year, my mom painted my room, which was actually the foyer in the house, but it was big enough that it could be a room. My mom painted it hot pink from ceiling to floor. I had a gray desk in my room. I had my twin size bed. I had my toy box and 2 bookcases. So I had room, for everything. I didn't have like a whole lot of clothes. Oh yeah, and the little chest drawer. I did have a chest drawer. It was short like my bookcases. They were kind of narrow bookcases, probably about a foot and a half wide. My little chest drawer was probably, yes, hot pink. My chest drawer was probably a couple of feet wide. And if I remember correctly, I think it had 5 drawers. Anyway. That room was hot pink. It was hot, hot pink. When we moved from there to the 2-story house, my mom offered to paint my room pink again. And I said, no, I don't even want it painted. I was over pink by the time I was 7. So over pink. So over pink. Mm-mm. I was over pink. And I think I just went colorless for a while. There was no such thing as a favorite color. They were just colors and they were all just kind of meh to me. But then I started gravitating towards purple. I think I was 11. We had moved into a new house. It was my mom's first home, her first time being a homeowner. And the room that I had at first was paneled. And it was cool. It was okay. But when I moved to a different room, I wanted color. So my mom and I go to the hardware store, and she's looking at all these different shades of pink because she remembered way back then, like 6 years ago. And I'm like, no, no. And I saw this beautiful lavender. And it's almost like when I touch, you know how they have those color swatches? It was almost like when I touched the color, it made me radiate. I felt this energy on the inside. And ever since then, purple has been my color. And as I got older, I started studying what colors mean and the fact that, purple is it's a deeply passionate color, and it means royalty. So I'm like, yeah, that's, yeah. So I've been a purple girl ever since. And I recently came to the conclusion that most people who like pink have either liked pink their whole life or it's a statement of some sort. And most people who like purple, especially girls, have had some kind of pink trauma in their life. Because that hot purple room was very traumatic. Yes. Okay, guys, unfortunately, I don't have any makes to show you, not any new makes to show you. I have really been focusing on this and lifing. I will touch very briefly on the lifing part. Um, and I want to send a thank you out to two very special people, and that's Michelle and Joan, um, for being there through some really low moments over the past couple of days. Um, I did have my weekly visit with my therapist, and yes, I did reach out to her. I sent her a text, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear back from her. But you all, please, uh, when I say mental health, I mean all inclusive. I mean emotional health and psychological health. Um, it's very important to have a support system around you who can pull you out of those dark corners. I think that's the best way to put it. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the kind of trigger that sends you spiraling that a lot of people can see. It can be things mounting up. Um, every time I think we got this insurance thing figured out and done, something else pops up. And while that's happening, the family's going through something. The family's going through a lot. And then on top of that, I wanted to go spend some time with my son next month, and I can't. And I miss my son. I know, Joan, thank you. I miss my son and I want to go see him. And I can get there. That's not the problem. It's just that I cannot afford a ticket back home. So I have to thwart those plans. That was like, not only spending time with my son, not only catching up and getting to know Jenna, but it was like my vacation. Y'all, I haven't had one of those in 2 years. And it's just the opportunity to breathe a moment, you know? So I just have to breathe a little bit longer and keep it going. So I also had some suggestions when you come up or if you're going through moments of suffering from what I call no-go Crojo. When we say we've lost our Crojo, I call it no-go Crojo. Juan, it's in the description box, does what they call Taco Tuesdays. What he does is draw from a jar ideas of little small things that you can do. And it's a weekly thing. Right now he's in season 2, and Tuesday was week 2 of season 2. And you just like, for instance, one of the things, oh yeah, okay. So like one of the things last week was a holiday make. You have to have at least 3 colors, I believe it is. And it has to represent a holiday, any holiday. And it has to be larger than your hand. Y'all, you can make a pot holder. You can make a washcloth. You can make a hot pad, a centerpiece for a table. Um, there's just so much. The possibilities are endless. And that was last week. One of the things for this week is to make something of your own, of your favorite color. Of course, include other colors or different variations of your own color. Um, and it has to be bigger than your hand. Y'all know that I've already elected to make myself a hexicardi. I already have the yarn packed. It's right there in the bag. My bonnie lies over the ocean. My bonnie lies over the sea. My bonnie lies over the ocean. You brought back my bonnie to me. Welcome, Bonnie. Hurry back, Sally. But yeah, I already have the yarn packed for the purple hexicardi. So, and it's not, you're not tied into it. You don't have to make, he draws 4 items a week. You don't have to make all 4 items. And like I said, you're not tied into it. So you can make 1 item. You don't have to make any. You can make 3 items. You can make 4 items. You can make 2 items. Whatever you choose to do. But it's just a way to break the monotony. Like this, the reason I'm having trouble with this right now, even though I got past the hurdle, is that it's basically double crochet. It's like 2 rows of double crochet, 1 row of treble chain, treble chain, treble chain. And I'm so over the monotony. You know, it's not sewing it together in a shape or that's where I am. That's where I am. Thank you, Bonnie. But I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And it's not the pink. You know, I give, you know, even though I did suffer pink trauma, it's really not even the pink of it. It's the repetition of the stitches that is like driving me insane. I find myself doing 10 stitches and putting it down. There's no reason. I look at it, it is 185 stitches across. There is absolutely no reason I can't do 20 rows, 30 rows a day. I mean, 30 rows would be what? Close to under 6,000 stitches. You know, so we're looking at less than 6 hours. It could be done. And I don't even think I have 30 rows. I do. Wait a minute. 1, 2, wait a minute. Do I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 39 rows done. Yeah, 39 rows I have done. Not good. And then the pressure that I'm putting on myself. Yes, Joan, I hear you. I know. I know. The pressure that I'm putting on myself to have so much done by a certain time. Speaking of which, did I give up on the 8,000 stitches a day? Kind of, sort of, a little bit, but not a lot. I am going to try to get through these gifts instead of putting something else on me right then. I have a list of gifts that are going out, and this is number 4 of I'm trying to change the channel, y'all. Well, I was, and it's not letting me. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 11. Okay, I have 11 gifts and 3 whips that have to be done. So that's 14. This is number 4 of the 14. So there are 10 after this, and 3 of those are whips. Now, granted, they may not be large items, but until I get those done, I can't put restrictions or give myself, maybe I can do a challenge or something to see how much I can get done in a day the next time I decide to stay up 24 hours. Welcome in. Excuse me, welcome in, welcome in. Ooh, forgive me. Okay, so we have one that we can go to. Also, if you just need a bucket of love, if you have crocheted yourself out and you just need to go get your love bucket refill, you can always go visit Mama C and Miss C's cottage. The link is below to her cottage. You can go visit her on Sundays and Wednesdays at noon. Okay, she used to be Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but she gave up Fridays, and it's just Sundays from 12 to 2 Eastern Standard Time, and Wednesdays. She's thinking about expanding Wednesdays, but for right now, it's 12 to 1. You can always go there and pick up lots of love. If you're still looking for more and you want to make a lot of fun and useful stuff, go check out Sherry, the Posh Paper Lady. Y'all, she had me. I wish I had one close. And I do. I want to take one of these and turn it into some type of organizational. And I mean, just watching her channel, you see the things that you have laying around that you would normally say, well, I'll do this later, or I'll throw this away, or I don't need that. Y'all, I have plans for this. Other than holding my washcloths, I can already see the sections that I plan to put in, that I plan to glue in here, so that I can. And let me tell you, I'm sorry, I'm not finishing statements right now, but I get excited and I have to show you things. So, following her and learning that you can make useful stuff out of stuff. This is a simple Planner's Cocktail Peanut Can. I wanted a place to put all of my crochet hooks. And these are all the ones that were in my bedroom. I still have many, many more crochet hooks. But the fact that they're right here and they're reachable, I mean, I have the ergonomic hooks. I have can you even see the head on that? I mean, seriously. Look at that. Is that real? Come on, work with me. But you see how teeny weeny that is? I have that. I can't even read what size it is. It says 10. Nope. Yep, it says 10. Here's another one. It says 40. Here's another one. See, I told y'all I had these. I got a ton of them. 0.75. A 1 point. I can't see these little bitty things. They're so teeny weeny. And all of these are boys. That's 4 of them. And I'm looking at about 10 more. Yeah, I got hooks, y'all. I just don't have, you see my Tunisian hook. There's another one that's wrapped up in a project somewhere. My knitting needles are back here. I've even got, that's the big, is this the M or the N? I think that's the M. That's the L. That's the N. Those are my Susan Bates. That's the Susan Bates without the handle on it. Those have the handle. I love these. I absolutely love these. The one that I'm using to work on this blanket right now is the 6.0. And I keep going back and forth between 6.0 and the 6.5. Absolutely love them. But yeah, I've even got the, I'm trying to see the alphabet, y'all. It's the 6.5. Y'all get to see my ugly faces that I make. For the longest time, this was my favorite hook. I think I told you the story behind it. So the first lady of our church and my mom were like really, really good friends. We called the first lady and her husband, the pastor, um, Uncle Robert and Aunt Shirley. So my mom would call her Shirley, and Aunt Shirley would call my mom Turner. Unless she got mad at her. When she got mad at her, she would call her Barbara or BJ. So they picked Mama up, Uncle Robert and Aunt Shirley, to go to Plymouth, North Carolina, where the headquarters building is. And Mom, of course, sat in the back seat, and they're having a conversation. And Mom looks down on the floor, and she sees a crochet hook, a gold crochet hook. And she's like, Shirley, who do you know that crochets? And Aunt Shirley chuckled and said, well, I tried it, but I can't do that stuff. As a matter of fact, I don't even know where the hook is. Mama took the hook and put it in her backpack, her little attache case that she had with her. She did tell her before she got back home, she was like, Shirley, well, you know, Captain Crochets. And she said, well, go ahead and give it to her. By this time, it had already been secured. And Mom was back. I said, oh, Mama, I said, how you going to steal from the preacher in the preacher's car? Come on now. You got to do better, Mama. But forever, this was my favorite. The H was always my favorite, but then to get a golden one, and I always said to myself that it was gifted by Aunt Shirley. So I always considered it to be ordained. And this was my favorite forever and ever until I started my YouTube channel. I know that sounds weird, but I was following I think it was Crochet by K, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have that in the description box. I'll try to remember to go back and put it in. But most of her work was done with the 6.0, the J hook. And I kept trying to follow one of her patterns with the H or the 5.0, and the work was coming out tight. This was when I was making the shawls for my family reunion. So like I said, when I first started my channel. And it just wasn't working. It didn't give me the fluidity that I wanted. The flexibility, the sway. It just didn't give it to me. So I went up to the J, and then I was like, wow. this looks better, this feels better. And I was putting out, I'm already kind of fast at crocheting, unless I get bored. But it made things go faster. And I was like, wow, I can do this, I can do this, I can make that. And even when I attempted to make my first basket, oh, it was a game changer. I could use the J hook for that because I was carrying two strands, two four-weight strands. It was amazing that I could get that done. But then I discovered the K, the 6.5, and I knew that I had a 7.0 around here and never could find it. So I ended up buying two of those. So now I have two. One says 7.0, the other says 8.0, but it's fine. We know they're L's, and that's cool. But yeah, the bigger hook sizes were doing so much better and giving me what I wanted, giving me more of what I wanted. And, through watching all of you even, and Jen of Cinnamon Stitches and Lisa from Happy to Hook and Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, learning to get the results that I want from the different size of hooks. So that's why I'm a firm believer that no matter how long you've been crocheting, you can always learn more. You can always learn more. I look at some of the youngsters that are coming out and I'm following them because, oh my God, that is so pretty. Oh my God, how did she do this? How did she do that? I never have been one who could think something in my head and crochet it. I got to put it down on paper. My idea of patterning is not like everybody else's idea of patterning. I can read a pattern, yes. I can follow a pattern, yes, but not as well as I can follow my own. The diagrams, the numbers, the words that I put on my page make absolutely no sense to anyone else, but they work for me. Now, I can rewrite somebody's pattern so that it works for me. Yes, I can do that too. And it's funny because that's the way I learned in school. I found out that I was dyslexic when I was young. And I found out there was some other terminology they put with it. I could read, but I don't read with comprehension because I get bored after a while. The crocheting, the same thing, and everything becomes monotone, even in my head. So I would read out loud and I would change characters like every paragraph. I would read as an old woman and then an old man and then a little girl. And then I'd take my voice as deep as I could go. I'd go with Donald Duck and, different characters or whatever, just so I could get through it. After I became acclimated to that, I started having to rewrite my lessons. So they say the best way to memorize something is repetition. Well, I'm reading this, then I'm character reading this, and then I'm rewriting what I'm reading. So I'm reading it and then rewriting it. So I had no choice but to remember my schoolwork because that's what I was doing. And my mom finally figured it out when I was in high school. I had been doing it since I was 7, y'all. But she finally figured it out when I was in high school, and she was like, I had no idea. I'm like, yeah, you're a little late to the party, but it's okay. Come on in. All right. I want to do this before we go too far. We are not going to spend a lot of time on this. I want to recap what we've done within this week on the ASL. I went over the weekdays and I went over the medical terms, and not only the weekdays, but a few things associated with the week. Okay. Medical terms. Doctor. Cupped hand in the palm or the wrist. Doctor. Doctor. Or the letter N in the hand. Nurse or the wrist. Nurse. Okay. The letter H. Draw a cross on your shoulder. Hospital. The letter C, draw a cross on your shoulder, clinic. And you can say, I feel sick, okay? Same finger here, but you point to yourself with your pointer. I, stroke your chest with that middle finger, feel, just one stroke, and then one hand, one finger, both those middle fingers on the stomach, one on the head. Make sure you have the facial expression. You can hunch your back if you want to. I feel sick. Okay? I feel sick. Okay? Break or broken. Real simple. Just cracking it into break. And lots of breaks require a cast. Cast. Same claw hand, rub it along the arm. And you check someone's temperature. Temperature. It may require medicine. That middle finger is doing just about everything in the medical field. So now we're mixing the meds. So that's medicine. If it's a pill, it's medicine and eat. So medicine, eat equals pill. Medicine, eat. And you're just munching your fingers together and taking them to your mouth. Peel. Now you put those two together and you add doctor, you have your pharmacist. So medicine, eat, doctor, pharmacist. Pharmacist. Now for our week, we have our weekdays. Okay? Remember that's day. It can either be the D or it can be a flat hand. So once across the hand, imagine this being a calendar and you're just sliding across from Sunday to Saturday. Okay? So weekdays. Okay. You also have your weekend. Two ways of doing that, of course. One finger sliding across for week. Gradually bring your flat hand out and chop it down at the end. Weekend. Or you can just slide that flat hand across and down. Weekend. 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 Okay? Now, our days of the week, simple. I'm going to keep everything to the simple form instead of showing you the other way for Sunday and Thursday. We're just going to do the circles. So we have hands out, palms in front of you. Sunday. Sunday. Make the letter M facing yourself around in a circle. Monday. You make the letter T facing yourself around in a circle. Tuesday. The letter W facing yourself. Wednesday. The letter H, because Thursday starts with TH. The letter H facing yourself, circle around. Thursday. The letter F facing yourself, circle around. Friday. And the letter S, your fist, circle around. Saturday. So that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have next week. Remember, your weekend is here. You're not pointing out week. You're just going to go next week. And you can go, I think it's week last. So last week is, you sign out week and last. Point to the last. You have today, both your Y hands, just straight down. Today. That also means now. So today. Now, I was taught yesterday with either the Y hand or a flick of the hand. But what I've recently been shown is the fist, almost like the A hand with the thumb up, as being yesterday. But I was taught yesterday or yesterday when I was coming up. And I assume either is fine. As long as it's back over the shoulder, they know that was in the past. Okay? That is our ASL for today. See how short and so we did all that in 5 minutes, y'all. We good. We good. I'm gonna come in one day and I'm gonna say, and all of y'all are gonna know what I mean. All I said was, come in the room. I'm Kitty Lane. Welcome. So when you see that, you'll know what it means. I've had fun with each and every one of you, and I thank you all for being here. I really, really, really do. It has uplifted my spirits a lot. I'm still going through a lot, but I'm going to tough my way through it. Yes, Michelle, I am going to call my therapist. And yes, John, I am going to call my son. I've already reached out to my son, actually, but I'm waiting until we can get to the point where we can call and not text each other. I don't want to, give a message like that through text. But yes, I've made the appropriate calls as far as that's concerned. Now, if somebody could give me a solution to get my girls to stop fighting each other, not physically, but oh yes, oh yes, and find a vacation spot for me to get my head on straight. Yes, yes, and find me a Mr. Kitty. Yes. You know what? I'll be Kitty. He can be Cat. That's fine. Find me a Mr. Cat. That's fine. I'll be okay. Somebody I can lean my head on his shoulder and he just take all my problems away. We just sit there and look at the ocean. I'd be happy with that, y'all. I would be happy with that. It's not all about the gorgeous guy who works out in the gym 25 days a week and 42 hours a day. It's not about all of that. I just time, companionship and time. That's it. And I shall continue on my weight loss journey. Um, yeah. But and I'm gonna keep putting good energy out there and just waiting for it to come back. I know he's not gonna find me in my room, Joan. I know. Okay. All right. I get it. I get it. See what I mean about keeping me on my toes? Y'all see it. You see it. And I know Michelle's looking at it saying, you are so right, Joan. Tell her again. I get it, y'all. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You too, baby. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. And I'm there with you in spirit. Love. But like I said, guys, to you always, always remember to be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.